Hey guys, welcome to my podcast. My name is Ayirebuah, and I am the host of Ayirebuah Speaks Literally, a podcast about the random things, the random thoughts that shape my personality. Today's random thoughts: Arsenal Football Club. I was once a diehard fan of Arsenal. I was always excited when I saw that there was there was an Arsenal game. But the truth is, I was actually just looking out for Theo Walcott. Then Theo Walcott left, and then I left. I stopped watching Arsenal games. But of course, Arsenal has a special place in my heart. But there are some people that have been fans of Arsenal for as long as I can remember. But then they are always the subject of trolls, or trolling. The banter. Every time is Arsenal this, Arsenal that. So I keep asking myself, why are you still a fan? Like, why? Why? You're always losing. Everything is looking basa. Why are you still a fan? So I called a couple of my friends who I know that are Arsenal fans, and I said, look, come join me on this podcast. Let's talk about your loyalty as an Arsenal fan. How exactly do you deal with all the trolling and stuff like that? And then I couldn't get everyone to join me on the call, so there's also audios from Arsenal fans, including my father. My father is actually the reason why I started to look at Arsenal, because I was once a Chelsea fan, and then I started to watch Arsenal games with my father. So he's also a part of Arsenal gunning. So anyway, the title of this episode is Still Gunning for Arsenal. Do you see what I did there? Still gunning for Arsenal. And my guests today are Nidal, Moro, and Ibrahim, aka NAS. And you also hear the voices of Kwaku, Darko, Boamah. You hear the voice of Ike Asante. You hear Jeffery Kpakpo Abrahams. You hear Nene Annor Apaflo. You hear the voice of Kingsley. You hear the voice of my father, Dr. Darius Osei. You hear the voice of I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. Isaac Adjei. You also hear Jocelyn Asante. She was on my podcast last season on the Big Brother episode. Jocelyn is also a football fan. You hear her voice as well. Who else? I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. I should have written this. I think that's all. Yes. I think that is all. And so you're welcome, and please enjoy the episode. If you're not an Arsenal fan, you can still join us.
Okay, hi. I'm Ike. So, first question: when I became an Arsenal fan, well, I think around 2004, 2005, thereabout. Yeah. Prior to that, yeah, I used to watch soccer with my dad. My dad is a big football fan, and he's a Manchester United fan. So I used to watch soccer with my dad. My early memories as a child watching football was with my dad. So I remembered I just had two teams that I liked. That was Manchester United and Arsenal. It was always those two. But until I think around 2005, Arsenal beat Man U on this FA Cup final on penalties, and that was when I made up my mind that now I'm going to be an Arsenal fan. So I think around the year 2005 or 2004, around that time, that was when I decided to be an Arsenal fan. Why I'm still an Arsenal fan, I guess I don't know. I think I just like the club. I love it. Upon all these heartbreaks and all of that. But well, my favorite Arsenal players, of course, the greatest ever in our history, Thierry Henry. I really like him. I like Dennis Bergkamp too a lot. I think he's very underrated, but I really like Dennis Bergkamp. And then Samuel Najri, I think he was one exceptional player for us. I really, really loved that player, but then he left. And then I could add two other players, but because they left us, the way they left us, it really hurts me. So I don't want to mention, but let me just say Van Persie and Fabregas. Those are the other two. But ultimately, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp. Those two, I think, are the best Arsenal players I have seen in my lifetime. So, yeah, and then Najri, Van Persie, Fabregas too are also there. So, yeah, cool. Well, talking about uh, the troubles I've encountered. Come on, the trolls. I mean, Arsenal, you know Arsenal. Every time we lose games, and then we troll your friends will troll you, and the disappointments. I mean, those are the troubles I've encountered. And then anything I like about Arsenal, it's like a club with class. That's how I like. It's like they have a tradition, you know. They have a way they want to play. They are not a dirty club in quotes like some club I don't want to mention. But then yeah, that's what I like about Arsenal. And then talking about my most memorable game for Arsenal, I guess it's two. I guess I think the most recent one, that was 2011 when we beat Barcelona in Emirates. At that time was the Pep Guardiola Barcelona. Like I think you can argue that that's the best Barcelona team in their history. And they came to Emirates and we were able to beat them 2-1 in the Champions League. But then unfortunately when we went to Camp Nou, they beat us, so they knocked us out. And then Real Madrid in 2006, we went to Santiago Bernabeu to beat them 1-0. Thierry Henry. I think that's the until Manchester City did it last year. Arsenal was the only English club that had gone to Bernabeu to beat Real Madrid or whatever. Yeah. And then the most heartbreaking game of Arsenal. Yes, I think it's only one. Barcelona in 2006. We go to the final and then we lost. We lost. We had a red card, but then we even scored first, and then still we couldn't. We held them up until second half. I've forgotten. We couldn't score. And on that day, unfortunately, Thierry Henry is the one who let us down because he had some clear cut chances. On any normal day, he would have converted them, but he missed those chances. So yeah, and maybe you can add. No, I don't think that 2019 the Europa League. That one, nah, I wasn't really hit. The club was already in shambles and whatever. But 2006, I mean, it was really painful because 2006 Barcelona and Arsenal, there was no big gap like now that Barcelona and Arsenal you see a big gap. No, 2006 they were kind of even, so it was really painful. We lost that game. So yeah, that's just about it.
All right, people, we are joined by Nidal Moro right now, and I am still waiting for NAS to join. This is the episode I call Still Gunning for Arsenal. See what I did there? I said still gunning because the Arsenal fans are called gunners. Ayirebuah. Nidal, you're welcome to Ayirebuah Speaks, literally.
Oh, good to hear from you, Rama. Good to hear from you. How are you doing?
Good to hear from you. I am very fine. I'm very happy to have you here. I don't know where NAS has gone to. He was just here. But
I'm sure you'll join us in no time.
okay. So, like
Yeah.
I've already said, this episode is just for Gunners. It's just for Arsenal fans. So if you know that you're not an Arsenal fan, don't worry, don't worry. We'll allow you to listen to us and all our secrets.
Of course. Of
um okay, right now Nas is here. Hello, Nas. Nas,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me, Akiti.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're waiting for you. So, like
Okay.
I was telling everyone that this episode is called "Still Gunning for Arsenal." You see
Okay.
what I did there? Still
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
gunning for Arsenal because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gunners.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Mm-hmm. I
you
get
can
it. I
give me a
get it.
round of
Wordplay.
applause
I like that
later.
wordplay. I do. I
of
do. I
course.
do.
Yes,
I do.
you can
You
give me
got
a
it.
round. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so for the listeners to know who they are listening to, I want you guys to just give me a brief bio about yourself. Let's start with Nidal. Nidal, tell us about yourself. And how do you know me? How do you know such a celebrity like myself?
Well, hello everyone. My name is Nidal Moro. And first off, I'll start with how I got to know Irama. Well, I got to know Irama from high school. We both went to Achimota School together.
Woo!
Actually, we both sat in the same class for 3 years, and we've been friends since then. So, I would say I know Irama. I've been friends with Irama for a decade now. That's something, don't you?
Yeah. That's actually true. Oh God, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? We've been friends for 10 years. And then yeah, I also know Irama because she's a fellow Ghana. I mean, that's how it connects. Everything connects, right?
Woo,
Just
woo,
like
woo, woo, woo. What about yourself? Who is Nidal? Tell us.
oh yeah, well, well, I've been an Arsenal fan for like close to
Oh,
15 years
Nidal,
now.
your horse runs fast. Relax. Who are you? Like, oh, your name, what school you are going to, or what work you do? That's one.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, I'm Nidal, obviously. My name is Nidal Moro, and I'm currently in Beijing, China, offering my masters in University of International Business and
Hey.
economics. I offered my bachelor's in University of Ghana. Prior to that, I was in Achimota School with Irama, as I said. So yeah, basically that's
Okay,
it's
Nidal.
about yeah.
You're welcome to Ayirebuah Speaks, literally. NAS, let me hear from you too.
Hello. Hey. All right. So first of all, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Ibrahim Mo, um, and I am Irama's friend. I mean, I've been for a while. I met Irama, at the Faculty of Law, Mount Chris University. I mean, I call her Kitty anyway, so I call her Kitty all the time for two reasons. One because of her size, and the other because of her car size, the size of her
Hey.
car. So two
Mm.
things. So and she's a very good driver anyway, so there's no problem there. And she's a very brilliant young lady,
Oh,
very
if you insist,
creative,
if you insist.
very creative. And I met her at the faculty where we study law together, and presently at the Ghana School of Law with her as well. So you see, that's how I met her. And I know that she's a staunch Theo Walcott fan first, before an
Mm.
Arsenal fan second. So there's that.
Yeah, we
So
need to
that,
put
yeah,
put it
yeah,
right
yeah,
there on
yeah, yeah,
record.
yeah, yeah. You have to put it. So I'm thinking it's right now, crash. She's going to Southampton because me, the
Oh,
way
you
the
already
Arsenal.
know.
Double agent.
Yeah, exactly. But that's fine. That's fine anyway. So that's it, and that's all about me. Thank you.
Okay, you guys are welcome to Ayuba Speaks Literally. I'm very happy that you guys decided to join me to do this episode. I know you guys are fans. You guys make noise. Hey, Nidal will buy 90 minutes. Do you remember that newspaper?
Oh yeah. Of course. With
Yes,
Habib used to
nine.
bring the 90 minutes around,
Yes,
and then I
90
mean
minutes. As for me, I'll be looking for Agogo and may his soul rest in peace and
all the
Walcott,
fresh footballers.
and you guys will be looking
I
for
see
Arsenal.
fresh footballers. Fresh
Mm,
footballers.
yes,
That
yes.
says a lot. Akiti, that says a lot about you.
Oh,
So do you want to
I
explain
know,
that
right?
part? Do
pardon?
you want to explain that part about looking for
Oh,
fresh footballers?
and yeah, no, na yeah, how. Don't make me speak some tree. So I was thinking that every time there's trolling going on Twitter, I'm like, every time they are trolling Arsenal people, but you guys are still fun. So I want to understand why. Everybody's winning, only Arsenal losing. Tell us why. Tell us why. So I want
I
to
think the dad should go
understand.
first. I think the dad should go first.
I want to understand the loyalty of the fans. That is why I brought you here. And I also
Okay.
asked a couple of Arsenal fans why they were still fans. They sent messages, and I'll add that to this episode as well.
Okay.
But for now, let's start with first. Let's start with why you became an Arsenal fan. What pushed you to become an Arsenal fan? Nas, we start with you on this one.
Okay, then I'll go. First of all, I started supporting Arsenal mainly because of Thierry Henry. Really,
Mm,
mainly because of Thierry. That was somewhere around 2004,
I see.
2003, 2004. Yeah, that's a long time ago. And really, I was very young, but I don't know. Thierry Henry drew me towards Arsenal, like in a lot of ways. First of all, because of his skin. So at that time, you hardly see.
Oh.
At my age, I hardly saw like black footballers who were like that popular.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a very astonishing guy, really, off the pitch. He spoke very well. And so I think I started following him, and then there was this friend of mine back then who, who was already an Arsenal fan, so I kind of joined him in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Then my first heartbreak, really, as even I was a kid, that was the first, our first Champions League finals in 2006. And I remember being so mad at Thierry Henry because I thought that he was like he cost us the game because he wasn't his regular self, and he was really just tossing up and down the pitch. Like I felt like he played like he wanted us to lose the game. So since
Mm.
then, it has been up and down for us. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But most of all, I think the most special thing about being an Arsenal fan is that you always feel like you belong. And I
Right.
think that pain that we go through keeps us together as Arsenal fans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's something that's salutary thing that we always reconcile with the fact that loyalty unites all of us at the end of the day. And you will hardly find somebody who has been supporting us now for the past maybe 2 3 years. It's always like 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, like long time because
Yeah.
that's who we've become. We've become so tied to the club that we feel like we're part of it really. And
Okay.
that's when Wenger left, and then now we are really struggling, but I think that we'll find a way of turning it around. That's my story.
Nidal, why did you become
Yes,
an
Irama.
Arsenal fan?
Oh well, I became an Arsenal fan way back in 2006. Mainly because of Thierry Henry, actually. Because
Again, hey, this
yeah,
man.
I mean, not aside the fact that his footballing abilities were unquestionable. I like the fact that he was French and he was good looking. He was so good looking. He could he could he could literally do anything that you'd want him to do with the football. And then he scored a lot of goals. He was all over the news for the good reasons. And then Arsenal, I fell in love with Arsenal also because Arsenal really, really, really was very much invested in um young talented footballers. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the reasons why I fell in love with Arsenal. And then the fact that the football was also like noticeable. The kind of football we used to play was also very, very noticeable with the one touch football, like playing the Arsenal way. So everything about it made me fall in love with the club. So I just decided to follow the club religiously like since then, and it's been like that like over
Mm-hmm.
how many years now? Yeah, over should I say how many years now? 15 years or so,
Yes,
right?
just about.
Yeah, it's been an emotional roller coaster, but like it's been fun. Like I've enjoyed every bit of it, even though like it comes with, I mean, the disappointment. Sometimes the wins make you feel some bit of like joy in you and all of that. But like I've loved it. I've loved it so far, no
Okay,
doubt.
that's good. As for me, the time do you guys know that I was a Chelsea fan before? I was a,
Oh, that's very shocking.
I was a Chelsea fan because I think because of Didier Drogba and Michael Essien. But
Okay.
then one
Oh,
day, my father was watching football and Arsenal was playing, and then I set my
yeah.
eyes on a prize.
Hmm.
You must have,
Wow, Theo Walcott. Theo
oh my
Walcott.
dear.
Theo Walcott on a prize.
I said, hey, why Banye? Then I said, you know what? I am going to Arsenal. I think this was, I don't know whether it was 2007 or 2008, but I was around class
Yeah.
6 going to JSS
Yeah.
1.
Okay.
So around that time, and then I stayed in Arsenal. But then, he decided he's leaving the team. I said, hey, then me to that we are not always winning. What's my use in the team? Let me follow him. But of course, my heart is always with Arsenal because yes.
That's
I'm
nice.
always happy
That's
when
nice.
when when they finally win. But
Win, yeah. Yeah,
No,
we'll
but
come back.
you know one thing about Irama.
what?
She's always mute about Arsenal until we start winning, and all of a sudden she
Like
starts
all female
showing her
Gunners. She's
colors
like all female Gunners.
about
No,
being
she's
a
like all
Ghana.
female Gunners.
She's always lurking around. Because I
All
remember,
female Gunners do
like,
that.
Please, you can't generalize it. That's me.
Oh,
There
they
are
do.
some
They
Gunners.
do.
There are some female Gunners who are all if anything, who are diehard fans.
Anyway.
Yes. So there was a time also that you people were doing hashtag Wenger out.
yeah.
Hey, you people, which people? Wait, which
Wenger and
people?
Wenger.
The two of us, or it's Wenger?
All of you.
Wait.
All of you. All of you.
Wasn't that bad?
Nida, weren't you part?
I wouldn't deny that I wasn't part.
Uh-huh.
Actually, at a point in time, I was part because I got really frustrated with the way things were going. I felt we weren't heading in the right direction and whatnot. And then other clubs were moving ahead and we're still, dancing around top four, getting the FA Cup, getting just being comfortable with getting top four and the FA Cup and moving on. And I felt that that wasn't where Arsenal is supposed to be actually. Like we needed to, move forward with the kind of pace that the rival clubs were moving at. And I felt at the time Wenger wasn't really, really offering the best for us, so we needed a change. But I was Wenger out at a point in time, but I was never in for the abuse. You could separate the abuse from the critics, like the criticisms and all of that. And then people were finding it so hard to separate the two, and I wasn't in for that. But at a point in time, I was Wenger out. Even though I respected the man so much, I felt it was time for someone else to take over the steering wheel.
But at this point, would you say that when he was there and now that he's not there, which Arsenal do you like better? The one that he was there or the one that he wasn't there?
Actually, they say you might never know the value of what you have until you lose it. When Arsene Wenger was around, right? We're all most of us got tired of the fact that we're always playing for top four, we're always okay with being in the top four and all of that. And some of us thought that with the pedigree of us now, we needed to reach for higher heights, like getting the Premier League and all of that. Until he left, and then we're even struggling to get into the top four, and I was like, wow. Arsene Wenger really, really, really tried his best, even with the little resources he had. So sometimes I get on Twitter and I see most people trying to comment Arsene Wenger for the immense job that he did, and I'm like, wow. I really, really didn't see, didn't value the kind of job the man was doing until he left. Because ever since he left, we've not gotten ourselves into the Champions League spot. And then we've literally been struggling to get into our best shape. Management has been poor. Our football hasn't been all that good. And wow. So my respect to Arsene Wenger. He's one of the greatest managers of all time.
Nas, what about you? Do you like it better now that he's gone, or you liked it when he was around?
Well, Arsene Wenger, actually, see, for all Arsenal fans, first of all, Arsene Wenger is like that invincible person, because really he is invincible. Okay, so he's that invincible figure that we always will respect, no matter what happens. Like some of us were not happy when he was there, but we were. Look, I don't remember the last time we won a game of more than 4 goals. Okay, but with Wenger, we could win with 6 goals. Sometimes we could win with 5 goals, 4 goals. We were so good at scoring. Maybe we sucked at defending.
Yeah.
So, but now it looked like we defend more than we score. So it's like when the moment we concede and then we cannot score, it's like you've lost the game because you can't score and you can only defend. But the moment they break your defense and they score you 1-2, you can't score. So you'll be there and then you just lose. So it's like we have the reverse now. That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
With Wenger, we could score more, but we'll concede more too. But it's always good to score more than to concede. So at least the fact that you can score kind of was good. You always, and we never lost to teams like Wolves and Aston Villa. We never did with Arsene Wenger. Like it never happened. With Arsene Wenger, he will always win against those small ones. And then we struggled against the big guys. But nowadays we kind of
Even
maybe
the
do better
small
with the
ones.
big guys. Yeah, even the small ones score us. They are the ones who even score us more than even the big guys.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that we have a reverse situation here where we kind of concede easily. No, not easily. I mean, we concede not easily, but we don't score as much.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a deficit balance. So I think that we really need to get in shape and then kind of rectify that. Ateta really is the guy to do it, but I think that he's going through that same thing that every other manager goes through
Yeah.
when they've had a successful season. You see Jurgen Klopp struggling this season because I mean last season he was on top form and that's the Premier League. The Premier League is a fantastic place. Nobody ever stays on top for a long time. So I think that we are really in a phase, but we're going to pass it if Arteta can think outside the box. We can only trust him at this
Is
moment.
Arsenal
I don't
near
believe him.
relegation?
Oh
No, we
no.
are not.
That like that was
We
the
are
talk
far
of the
away from them.
town back late last year, but not anymore. Not anymore, Irama. Not
Mm.
anymore, Irama. Please don't bring it up in our conversation.
Adjei. Most
Can
so
you imagine? Can you imagine? But wait, can you imagine us going to
you
relegation, like
that
going to those small
No,
oh
teams?
I've
Alaka.
never feared Arsenal going to relegation because it's not something.
Are you
Because we
sure?
have never,
Yeah, like
because we have never gone to
we
relegation. Never.
we
We are the only club.
we almost like always pull through. So
But that's not good enough.
yeah, that's
Why should you even come near it?
yeah. Like I mean, Irama, we're going through a rough patch, and like the dynamics of the Premier League this season, especially, has been one such that you could pull 3 wins on the bounce and you're on top of the table. Lose 3 on the bounce and you're at the relegation zone. Like that was how it was.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're at that
Mm-hmm.
we're in that phase where we're losing so much, and then teams around us were also winning. So like we dropped on the table a bit. So yeah, that was the reason. But now we are able to pull like one or like a number of wins on the bounce, and then we find ourselves in the top half of the table. Yeah.
Okay. Um the two of you Nas and you Nidal, I hear from a little bit that you guys became friends because of the team. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Little man, what little man is that? Hey,
That's
hearsay.
right.
That's hearsay. Who's that little man? Tell us, tell
Oh,
us.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
so
Yeah.
so how did that come about?
You know, I used to come to Newtown a lot during the weekends, especially. Like I used to come to Newtown a lot, and then I never miss a chance to watch Arsenal matches. I mean, I plan my day around Arsenal games. That's how committed
This is some serious
that
a
that
fan life.
that's how,
Yeah, me too.
that,
Yeah, me
that
too.
that's how committed I am. So whenever I come to Newtown, and then I have a place I usually go watch my games, my football games, and then fortunately for me, I used to see Niles over there, but then I didn't know him. Like we used to watch the football together, and then from his demeanor and his reactions towards moments watching us now, like wow, this is me. Like I could see myself in him with the way he reacts when we score, the
Oh.
disappointment, like so. And Niles is a very vocal person. Like he would tell like
Oh
he will
yes.
try to
Oh
communicate with
yes.
you even though he doesn't know you, like just for the mere fact that both of you are
That's how I even got to know him.
both of you are football fans. He will try to communicate with you. So I realized that like he was a very staunch Arsenal fan and a passionate one indeed. And then that was like how we became friends. And then Nas is the kind of person that I can spend more than an hour on the phone with talking solely about Arsenal. Like, I'm telling you, Rama, nothing else but Arsenal. Like, he's the kind of person.
Wow.
He's the kind of person who can call me right after a game, and then we'll spend more than an hour talking about Arsenal. So, like, that's how we became, like, really, really, really tight. And for the
You
love of
see,
Arsenal brought us together. So I'm always grateful for that.
you see,
Yeah, that's correct.
Arsenal
That's
brings
true.
friends together.
No, that's true. That's true.
Hello, this is Jeffrey. I'm here to speak with you about Arsenal. Things I like about Arsenal. When I started supporting Arsenal, what made me become an Arsenal fan, my favorite players of Arsenal, my favorite manager, the most heartbreaking moments, the most joyous games. Okay, to begin with, I'll go with things I like about Arsenal. I really like Arsenal because of our style of football. We have this creative, distinctive style that makes us so different from the others. And also, we are one of the most successful squads in English football. And also our nickname, the Gunners. Let's go to when I started supporting Arsenal. Back in primary school, I had this studies teacher who was so obsessed with Arsenal and Thierry Henry. After studies every time, we then spoke about football, and gradually he was able to convince me to watch Arsenal games. He gave me this CD, which had a collection of the highlights of Thierry Henry. I began to fall in love with this player. He was so good on the ball. I think that transformed me into becoming an Arsenal fan. Okay, my favorite players of Arsenal are Thierry Henry, Dennis Beckham, Patrick Vieira, Santi Cazorla, Cesc Fabregas, Van Persie, Jens Lehmann, Mesut Ozil, and Ayn Wright. Obviously, my favorite manager is Arsene Wenger. No doubt about that. Okay, my most heartbreaking moments. Back in 2006, we had a Champions League final with Barcelona, which we lost. I think that would be the most heartbreaking moment for every Arsenal fan. And also another game against Barcelona in 2011. Van Persie was given a red card. We were in the lead. And then, due to the red card, everything became so rough for us, and then we had to lose the game. Okay, I think these are the most heartbreaking moments for me as an Arsenal fan. And then the most joyous games. I don't really have joyous games because currently it's bad. I think in this season 2020-2021 we played a game against United which we won by a goal to nil. I think that has been my most joyous game so far. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jocelyn, and first of all, I want to thank you, Ayirebuah, for having me on your show to talk everything football. So, yes, I am a very huge fan of football. Like, I love football. Football is an art on its own, and who doesn't love art? So, I just love football. So, to go straight to the point, I was a fan of Arsenal back in the days. I mean, Arsenal in 2003-2004 season, Arsenal regained the Premier League without a single defeat. And over that 38 games played, their league record actually stood, I think they won 26 out of it. Yes, and they drew like 12 and they lost like none. So they were called the Invincible. In fact, they are still called the Invincible because I think up to now no team or has been able to, beat that record. So I used to be a fan when Theo Walcott, what's his name, Henry, and Fabregas. I actually left when Fabregas left. So yes, I was not loyal because I mean my favorite player left, so I decided to go with him. But I actually loved their coach during that time. That was Arsene Wenger. I think he was good. I loved the fact that he wasn't intimidated by anything. Like, I just loved him. I just loved his energy. Yes, I was just a fan of him. And also, after I left, when Fabregas left, I was really like, I was supporting them in their games and everything. I wasn't like much of a fan like I was before I left, but I was supporting them. When Oxley Chamberlain was there, I was supporting him. I think Carl as well. Yeah, I was supporting the team. Like, when they are playing with people, I would actually support them. And so, yes, so okay, I get it. I wasn't loyal. I left because I don't know. Like I said, my player left, so I decided to tag along. But I also, they used to air videos on YouTube. They used to have a YouTube channel, and I was like a huge fan of those videos. It's like the players off the field and their personalities and everything. That was actually what drew me to Oxlade Chamberlain, because I loved him. Like, his personality was so beautiful, and I even got to know that he was dating a girl that I liked in a band, that was Perry Edwards in Little Mix. So it was I was like, okay, that's, I mean,
I agree entirely.
What about your friends outside of your let's say your normal close friends? Do you have friends who are just passionate about Arsenal like yourselves, or they are totally in the rival
You
team?
know, funny enough, my closest friends are actually from rival, like are fans of rival teams. Bernard, for instance,
Mm.
Rama, you and I have a mutual friend, Bernard. Bernard, for instance,
Yes.
we've been friends for a decade now, and we've been really, really close. But Bernard actually supports one of the teams I hate the most in in football. Bernard supports Barcelona. And then,
Uh
anytime, like, there's an embarrassing moment for us now, he comes to my DMs all
you'll
over,
be the first
like,
to throw.
all over Twitter, mentioning me, trolling me, bantering me in my DMs and all. And sometimes I purposely ignore him because, like, he's really a thorn in the flesh when he wants to deal with you. But at the end of the day, like, we don't let it come between us. Like, I mean, I can ignore his DMs when he's trolling me, but a few hours later, when I feel better, we just talk about something else, and we just forget about what just happened, and like, it's like nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened. And then just like one mutual friend of ours to YK, he's
Yeah.
also on Twitter. He's like he's
Yo, my man, that's my man, YK. I know him.
he's
I know him too.
he's actually
Yeah, that's a United
he's
fan.
actually one of my closest friends. And then, like, he's a Man United fan. He could troll me, I could troll him all the time, like, but then that doesn't affect our personal relationship. Like, right after the trolls, like, we go back to being friends again and all. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually fun when you have friends from rival clubs, like,
Yeah.
because sometimes it gets boring when both of you are from the same club, and and then both of you are grieving together and all of that. I mean, it's no fun, even though you can sympathize with each other and all.
It's better to fight small.
Yeah, yeah,
Nas, what about you? Your close friends?
I think I'll just say my brother. My brother. I think he's the one who really, really, really sits on my neck all the time about football. He supports Chelsea, and I don't like Chelsea. Everybody knows that. I don't like Chelsea. I don't like their players. I don't like anything they do.
Oh.
So yeah. So whenever, like, I don't know, either whenever we lose, he's always, like, on top of the issue with me on in my DM, or he just phone calls. He's outside the country, so he calls me
Mm-hmm.
for long hours, and then, talks about football. And usually when I don't want to talk to my brother about football, I will call it out. Okay, so yeah, yeah. If I don't talk about my brother, maybe because maybe either he's sleeping, or maybe maybe he's in class or something, I'll call Nidal and talk about football. Usually because Pepe sucks so much sometimes. Nowadays he's good, but Nidal likes Pepe. So when Pepe has a bad performance, I just have to call Nidal and complain about Pepe. So and then other related matters. So really that's how my day goes as far as football
I
goes.
see. As for me, in this house, the only people that watch football is my father and myself. Me, cry
Hmm.
when I watch the football, it's just so I'm glancing through.
Well,
Glancing
your dad
through the
Arsenal fan?
Hey,
hoops.
share.
Just say
Well,
it.
your dad
Just
is
say
an
it
My
Arsenal
now.
fan?
dad is the strongest Arsenal fan. Look,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to
Wow.
check the
OG,
My
mood. You have to check the mood.
my
OG.
respects
If
to him.
Arsenal
Yeah, my
loses,
respects to him. My
if
respects to him.
Arsenal loses, you don't go and ask for anything, please.
I know, right?
I know,
But
right?
when they have won, that's
So,
where you can bring
so,
all your heart's desires to. Oh, I want. Yeah, that's not.
so the day we win the Champions League, you ask him for a bet. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
Of course.
you know,
Okay. Oh,
we'll,
okay,
we'll
okay,
go
okay. I hope he's listening.
Ferrari.
I hope he's listening. You should save the money.
Okay, so someone also told me that Ozil is Nas's favorite player. Nah,
Hmm. Rama, you have to give me 2 minutes to talk about Ozil.
you're too.
If I start
Hey,
talking about
2 minutes just
you
for
give me the
Ozil.
whole 2 minutes.
Oh,
Yes. I like Ozil for various reasons. I know the dad doesn't really like it. He's not the dad's favorite guy, but he has a justified reason for that too. But this is what I think about Ozil. I think that we got Ozil when, first of all, 2 things. When Aswenga needed to build a team around a player that was so iconic.
Mhm.
Okay, because we all know that Aswenga is a man of midfield football. He bought us the best midfielders. He bought us what's it called, Fabregas, when Fabregas was nobody, and Fabregas so today is one of the best midfielders to ever grace the Premier League.
Mhm.
So Arsene eyes are their eyes for quality, and no manager can match him for that. And so when he brought Ozil in, he had a reason for that, and he wanted somebody who could distribute the ball efficiently in order to get your attackers to get the ball and score, really. And then, as we know, Ozil is not the without the football, he's really not the best player on the pitch.
No.
So if you need Ozil, you need everybody else to be on their best to give him the ball. So other managers came. I don't think they were able to get who Ozil was. They wanted him to be that physical guy, to hustle for the ball. They wanted him to be all kind of player. And the guy is not like that. Really. The guy is not like that. You just needed to get him somebody who can win him the ball. And so Arteta came by, and that's why my love for Arteta kind of like cut into half because of the way he treated
Mm.
Ozil. I thought that Arteta of all persons, I'm saying of all persons because he played alongside Ozil at some point in time, should have understood and should have known from the get-go that he needed to build the players around Ozil because he was the most experienced on that pitch,
Mhm.
and he was the most experienced and the most gifted player on that pitch. And so he needed to kind of get that trust from him, and then he couldn't handle it well, and then the egos got in the way, and then Ozil left the club. Until today, I think that's the biggest mistake we ever did, given that we are struggling so
Oh,
much to find
Charlie.
someone who can pass through the lines. We just needed that gift, and that gift is not all the midfielders that can do it. With the greatest of respect to like the likes of what's it called, Emil Smith Rowe, and what's it the other one, the Spaniard from Real Madrid. Um,
Ceballos.
I've forgotten his name. Ceballos, but the guys wrong with those guys. They can't match it. It's either you have it or you don't. And in this case, they
Mhm.
don't. They don't have half of what Ozil is made up of, and that's why we are really struggling. So I think we are going to struggle for a long time to come if we can't find that quality we are looking for in the midfield.
Wow.
So that's my problem. That's my issue with Ozil and his departure.
Okay. So Nida, what about you? Who was your favorite player who has left or who is still in the team?
Or my favorite Arsenal player of all time is Thierry Henry, undoubtedly.
But just say your
No, no,
Pepe
no,
now.
no,
Your
no, no,
Pepe
no,
is
no.
now. So
Currently,
say
I'm
Pepe,
surprised
brother.
you're talking about
Use your
him.
Pepe. Why all of us will say? But all of us will say. But all of us will say
No,
Thierry
no,
Henry
of
if
course,
given the
like
chance,
I
bro.
mean,
So say your Pepe. Say your
favorite
Pepe.
Arsenal player of all time is Thierry Henry. But currently in the Arsenal team, I would go for
Yeah.
Lacazette because, like I
Ah,
Okay.
Lacazette.
You know, like I said, Bailey, because I mean, I've not chased him for a long time when he was back in Lyon, and I could watch his his YouTube videos on how good he was as a striker. So I was really hoping for him, and he's a French. I have this kind of how do you love for French players, especially French black players. I have this kind of love for them. So I was really hoping for him to come to us now, and fortunately for us, he did. And then away from football, one of the reasons why I love Lacazette is like the way he styles himself, with his haircuts, and then the way he lifts his beard, just like
Mm-hmm.
the way I love to do it. So like I mean, I just love him like that. So currently, I mean, he's yeah.
Beard gang. Beard
Messi.
gang.
So like he
So we that we don't have the beard, they will holler for us.
Yes, you be in your corner.
so yeah. So I'll go for Thierry Henry and Lacazette.
Okay, what do you guys
Okay.
think about Oxley Chamberlain? Chumble.
Oh. Well, I think Oakley Chamberlain got what he deserved, which is a Champions League and I think a Premier League, and not a starting place in the Liverpool team. Because really and truly, I don't think he's a starting player. I mean, the Champions League and the Premier League can go to his credit for I don't know, for struggling with Arsenal for a long time and then being a lucky player as he is. But he can never be that player who starts on a team. I just think that he doesn't have that quality yet.
Nidal.
Yeah,
And I know yeah, and he's at the top of his
Oh.
yeah,
on
yeah.
on on
You don't
on
speak.
on
Sorry,
Oxlade
sorry.
Chamberlain, I think it was good business by Arsenal because we got the money we needed. We got about, is it 35 million from
Yeah, 35 million.
Chamberlain's
That's a lot of
business.
money. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel he
For
was
Liverpool. Yeah.
so inconsistent for Arsenal. I mean, he would hit top form, and then
Mm-hmm.
right where you are so hopeful about Chamberlain, he gets hit, or then the process starts all over again. He like picks up, blows hot and cold, like he wasn't really consistent. And then it looked as if Arsenal really didn't have a stable, position for him to cement and then work on his football,
Mm-hmm,
on
mm-hmm,
his positions. And then the inconsistencies was my problem with Chamberlain. So I felt that letting him
okay.
go to Liverpool, but that by that, with that good amount of money, was a good, very very good business by Arsenal. So I've never
It
really
was.
regretted
It
him
was.
going to Liverpool, despite the fact that he's won the Champions League and then the Premier League. I mean, so many undeserving players have won the Premier League and the Champions League. So Chamberlain definitely isn't the first person, and he
Mm-hmm,
neither
mm-hmm.
will he be the last.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Obing Womang Bang or Guming Miang?
Obama.
Oh my man. Hey, that's the last favorite player. Let him
Yeah,
talk about him
you know,
first. Me,
you
I'll
know.
talk second.
So now I find it really, really hard to believe that we actually got this guy in a January transfer window, because Arsenal is the club that always you know takes a long while to get the kind of players, world class players that we need. Since we got Ozil, we never really got a striker that would be right in front of Ozil, for us to see the best of Ozil. We had Ozil had average players sitting right in front of him, and that made us really didn't see the efficiency of Ozil. But so when we got Aubameyang, Aubameyang undoubtedly is a world class striker. He scored so many
Mm-hmm.
goals in the Bundesliga, even though people might argue that Bundesliga is quote unquote a farmers league. I mean, he scored so much goals in the Bundesliga, and we got him. He came to Arsenal. He delivered as we expected, and I would say the FA Cup that he single-handedly won for us was very, 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 very important in Arteta's era, because our season was falling apart. Arteta came to the like I came to Arsenal midway through the season. Our season was falling apart. And then, the FA Cup was the only thing we're actually holding on. So if we had missed the opportunity to win the FA Cup, I mean, the rebuilding process would have been really, really tough. So I appreciate the fact that, Aubameyang came to us now, even though at the time he had juicy offers from clubs that were offering big money and all of that. He still decided to come to us now, and the fact that currently he's African and he's captaining a club like us now, is something we're to be proud of as a black person. You understand? Even though currently
Yeah.
he's not on top form, we all agree that he's not on top form. But I mean, that's no reason for you to think that he's not a quality player.
A good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now she said you wanted to go second about this.
Yeah. For me, Aubameyang, I think that okay. I mean, I've always wanted Aubameyang at Arsenal, even though I think that he was 2 seasons late. He should have come earlier, so that he would have had that length of time with Ozil. Because Ozil was always going to make him the best striker in the Premier League. I promise. Because that's what Ozil likes anyway. Because I'm talking. I know I'm talking about Aubameyang, but again, it goes back to being Ozil. Because Ozil was the only guy who could give him that kind of football, that kind of passes. And when you look through the videos from last season and the 2 seasons before, you see that most of the goals that Aubameyang was getting, they were from Ozil. He was serving the right passes to him. So and Ramsey, I think. So you see that those were the kind of quality players. But Aubameyang can only thrive when he can get the kind of balls that he needs. I think that when I mean the balls, I mean the passes that he needs. So if you can't get him that kind of service, I think that Aubameyang will really struggle. He will really struggle, and that's what it goes back to what I've been talking about. He can't get the goals because nobody can give him the passes he needs. That's all it is. Aubameyang in front of games, I mean, out of 5 chances, he can get you 3 or 4 goals. Okay, that's Aubameyang. He thrives from good passes when you are, and then when Lacazette is not at his best, obviously he can't help Aubameyang also. So again, it goes back to getting the right players to serve him,
Right.
really. But I think the moment we do, he will be okay.
Okay. So now let's come home to our own pate, 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 pate.
Hey, Thomas Partey.
Yes. So everyone was so excited because, like back in the day when we were happy to see people like ACN and Chelsea and all of that. Now we are seeing that Thomas Partey is in an English club, and a club like Arsenal is very exciting. So what was your mood when you found out that okay, Partey is coming to your favorite team? Nas.
Okay. So Thomas Partey, before he joined Arsenal, was a bit popular in the Spanish La Liga because of his side, Atletico Madrid. And Atletico Madrid they are so good defensively. So if you are a starter there, it guarantees you some kind of reputation that you are very defensively minded. So I think he got popular from that league. And then going for the first Ghanaian, as an Arsenal fan, obviously there was excitement there. And he's widely known as that badass, defensive midfielder who can stop any ball because of that performance against Liverpool. And so I mean obviously we were excited about that. And again, it goes back to what Partey is, the condition of Partey at the moment at the club. He had a few good games, not very, not I don't want to say few because he has been suffering from his I think he's got 2 injuries so far, so he's not gotten that excellent starting that he needed. But from some of his performances, you can see the quality there, and I think that he needs the right guys around him to thrive in Arsenal. But again, I think that he's one of the best out there. So it's exciting as an Arsenal fan to have my party
Okay.
shirts whenever I visit the pub to watch some football.
Nidal, Thomas Partey.
Yeah, of course. I was definitely proud as a Ghanaian when we signed Thomas Partey to Arsenal, because double joy for me. One he's Ghanaian, and two is playing for my my favorite club. But then for me particularly, I wasn't really enthused about the signing because at the time I felt we needed an attacking midfielder more than we needed for a defensive midfielder.
Mhm.
I've always told Nas this because at the time we bought Partey, Ozil was frozen out of the club, and Ozil was literally our only attacking like central midfielder. Yeah, yeah,
Midfielder.
yeah. And
Okay.
then like I felt we're misplacing priorities. That was like I felt that was how I felt. So I felt we should have gone in for, there was this one guy from Algeria we're pursuing. Is it Awa? Algerian born French player, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Atem Awa,
We're
Custom Building.
pursuing around, but then the deal was taking so much time to be finalized. And then out of nowhere, deadline day, we heard, oh, yeah, Thomas Partey is coming to us. I was like, oh, okay, well, at least we have an Arsenal. And the aura around Thomas Partey's signing was so great. I mean, everyone was talking about it in Ghana. Everyone was talking about Arsenal in the news, whatnot. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what Thomas Partey can offer. I mean, his so far his Arsenal days, when he's played, he's been very, very good. But we really missed him when he's like out injured, when like in times where he's out injured, and he's been in the sick bay more than on the pitch, and that's like that's very unlikely of like
Mm-hmm.
Thomas
Mhm.
Partey.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then like we need him to be consistent on the field. I mean, once he's fit, he's definitely our best midfielder like currently. So, well, I mean, better days ahead for Thomas Partey.
Okay, but isn't there Eddie Nketiah? Why isn't he like uh,
Mhm.
another
Eddie
Ghanaian?
Nketiah.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
And now Onye Ghana Nisa.
Oh, Eddie Nketiah is actually Ghanaian.
Okay.
He's actually Ghanaian, but then he, for the fact that he decided to play for the England national team rather than for like Arsenal, makes it a diluted Ghanaian actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a good youngster, but I feel like I feel he's not gotten to the level yet to be starting Premier League games for like a club like Arsenal. I always felt that like he still plays like a teenager, let's say, even though some teenagers are, I mean, like are very much adapted to the Premier League surroundings and all of that. But I feel he still has a long way to go, him being a striker. Once you're a striker, everyone expects so much from you. When you go 3 games without a goal, people start raising eyebrows, start questioning your ability and all of that. And then
Mm-hmm.
most often than not, he's being bullied around and all. So you feel he needs, like, he's being bullied around by defenders and all. He's a lanky guy, just like he's being bullied around just like here and there. And then you feel that, oh no, maybe he's not really ready yet to cement a starting spot for us now. But then like he's shown that he could be, like, he has the potential to be one of our, like, picks for starting positions.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay. I would like us to move on to Arsenal women. Apparently, there's Arsenal women, but we don't hear a lot about them. Arsenal women, according to my research, was founded in 1987 by Vic Akers. So, who can tell me a little bit about Arsenal women? How many games of them have you watched, and who are your favorite players from that team?
Okay, I'll let Nas talk about that.
Oh,
That's what you have to say.
Nas, are you still here?
I got nothing. I got
Well,
Oh,
nothing.
oh.
well, the thing about Arsenal women is that, like, actually, I'll be honest with you, I don't follow them religiously like I do with the, like, the men's football. But then like,
Mm, mm,
you
mm.
hear so much about them from retweets from the Arsenal accounts and all of that, like talking about how successful they've been and all of that. Sometimes you see highlights of the top players, like, is a number of players, like they've been doing so well. And well, I think for the love of us now, I need to switch focus a bit and start focusing on them. And sometimes the most the most ironic part of the whole situation is that the Arsenal men's team could be very disappointing on a weekend. And on the other hand, the women are winning
Mm-hmm.
five
And
nil
then they'll
six
go and win.
nil and whatnot. And you are like,
Yeah.
really, like, what am I doing? I'm losing focus. I really should go and get my emotions together and then try to support the women's team. So, well,
Yes, Kim Little is the captain of the
yeah, yeah,
Arsenal
yeah,
women's
yeah.
team.
I see. Well, for me, in terms of like knowing them personally, I don't know them as individual players. Every day I know them generally.
Mhm.
So occasionally, because I follow my Twitter account, I follow both sides. I follow the men's team and the women's team. But it seems to me that my focus is more on Hill End because Hill End is really where our future is. And since we started bringing the likes of Midland Niles and Emil Smith Rowe and the likes of Saka from there, I think my focus left the women and I'm more focused on the Hill End side. So the women really are the best of all the three because they win a lot of trophies
Yeah,
apparently, but their league is not very popular. So I just see them by way of just going through my timeline and just knowing about them, their existence. But religiously to follow them, it's not there yet. It's
I
not there
see.
yet.
I see. Well, no harm, no foul. I don't. Okay. So
But wait, Rama, do you
I
watch them
don't. I
though? Do you
hardly even
watch
watch
them?
the men. When will I
No,
stop watching the women?
Erama, you are not being fair when you say that. Like, I mean, if you call yourself an Arsenal fan, of course, you know, you as a female, you should
You should
rather
watch every
Well,
you
Arsenal
should
game.
rather
see,
be
let me
telling
tell
us
you the truth.
about
Let
the
me tell
women's
you
team.
the truth. Let me tell you the truth.
Okay, tell
I
us.
Hi, I'm Kingsley. Um, when did I become an Arsenal fan? I think I became an Arsenal fan when I was 6. The whole family was Chelsea, and then I went on a different path. So yeah. Why am I still on? I actually don't know. I actually don't know. I think it's in the blood, and then there's hope for the future. So I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Hope for the future. My favorite Arsenal players, past and present. I think past would be Dennis Bergkamp, because that guy was mad. He was lit. And present, I would say Kieran Tierney for the passion he plays with, dedication to. Favorite Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger, of course. A lot of beautiful times. It's just the recent times that we had. Um, my worst game was it's between losing the UCL to Barcelona and that 8-2 loss against Manchester United. Those two. My best game will be winning at the Bernabeu. Thierry Henry. Yeah, 1-0 against Real Madrid. Um, anything else about Arsenal? Arsenal is like a relationship. You need to be patient. A lot of downs, but the good times are there. And we have Thomas Partey, Ghanaian brother. So yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm Kingsley Aboagye, and I'm alive. Yeah.
Yes, so hi, my name is Nene. Everybody knows me as Darko. I'm an Arsenal fan, a loyal Arsenal fan. Yes, a loyal Arsenal fan. People ask me why I've supported Arsenal for so long. I started supporting them at the age of 7. At the age of 7, Charlie, it's not been easy. People always tease me, my friends, they tease me that we've not won major trophies like the UEFA Champions League and all that. But Charlie, once you're a fan and you love the club, there's nothing you can do about it. They'll tell you, why don't you change the club? But
they really don't know what it is to support a club, to love a club like Arsenal. Do you get it? I fell in love with the club because of Thierry Henry, and then the style of play that they used to play. That's tiki-taka football. Yeah. My best manager would be Arsene Wenger because it's quite obvious because I've known him ever since. The recent ones are Mikel, Unai Emery, and then this guy, Freddie Ljungberg. They didn't. Mikel is trying, but then I think it will be Wenger. Yeah. Then my best player would be Thierry Henry because he made me fall in love with the club. Yeah, I guess that's about it. But Charlie, being an Arsenal fan is not easy at all.
I'm Isaac. I prefer to be called Boamah most of the times. I started supporting Arsenal since I was in class 5, and that should be around the age of I can't really remember. My favorite player of all time would be Dennis Beckham. I think he had speed, tenacity, vision. He could see what others couldn't see. So I'll go for Dennis Beckham. Worst player. I'll go for Yaya Sanogo. Best game. That would be 5-3 against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Worst game. The second leg of the Champions League, where we lost to Barcelona, the one in which Van Persie received a red card. Yeah. So basically, best manager, I think Arsene Wenger. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Kwaku Boamah, and I am a big football fanatic, and I support Arsenal Football Club. When did I become an Arsenal fan? I do not remember, but I think somewhere in 2004, I believe. Yeah, 2004, somewhere around that time. Yeah. The love for Arsenal, I mean, you can't describe it. It's just like the love you have for your parents, or the love you have for anything that's dear to you. That's how I love Arsenal. And nothing can change it. Whether good or bad, still supporting the club, regardless. My favorite Arsenal players currently, my favorite Arsenal player is Thomas Partey. Yeah, because without him, the team doesn't click, to be very honest. He's the pivot. I mean, from defense to attack, Thomas Partey. Past Arsenal players, of course, undoubtedly has to be Thierry Henry and Ian Wright. Yes, these are my two past favorite Arsenal stars. Arsene Wenger for sure is my all-time favorite manager. I mean, there's no contention when it comes to the best man to have ever managed Arsenal. It's Arsene Wenger. Worst game, I think should be the one against Man United. We lost 8-2. Very embarrassing scoreline, but yeah, it happened. Best game. Well, the most recent one has to do with last season winning the FA Cup against Chelsea. That goal was so beautiful from Aubameyang. I mean, it was so beautiful. Still plays in my mind. I mean, it's so beautiful. Yeah. And also, Arsenal, I mean, it's a religion. I mean, just join it. And your life will never be the same. All right. Thanks. Have a blessed day.
I was not a football fan, but when I had the opportunity to study in UK, and the way the Premier League was then being cheered up, and I fell in love with the Premier League. At the time, Arsenal became a favorite team to support because the manager was recruiting some African players. I mean, Kuruturi from Ivory Coast was the reason why I fell in love with Arsenal. In fact, at the time, most of the Premier League had a lot of European and English footballers. And it was only Arsenal that I realized had some African players. Kano from Nigeria, Koloturi from Ivory Coast, and then some few others. And so that was what attracted me to support Arsenal. When you talk about my best player, Thierry Henry, of course, was my favorite. I mean, at his peak, he was unbeatable. He was so good. I mean, I couldn't just wait to watch Thierry. He was the reason why I was always rushing to watch Arsenal play football. And Arsene Wenger was the best coach. His temperament, his managerial skills. He didn't ever had enough money to buy the most expensive players. He actually nurtured them. I mean, he was competing with the top guys like Manchester United and others who were very rich, but he was able to compete with them because Arsenal was building the Emirates Stadium, which they had contracted a loan, and they had to pay the loan within a 5-year period. And so he couldn't buy any player. And then he was able to use the academic players as well as, players that never had names. He brought them to Arsenal and really made them what they are, like Adebayo. I mean, for instance, was not a known name in football. He bought him just for like 3 million, but made Adebayo a very popular player. Sold him for 25 million. I mean, there are a lot of examples that you can. Arsenal is not doing well now, but I still like Arsenal because, I'm not the type who will always move, because I had a lot of friends who were supporting Arsenal, but when Asian joined Chelsea, they shifted. I'm still Arsenal for life.
Really used to watch football. Like, when my dad would be watching football, I would watch it with him. But there was one time that my heart got broken, and then I was like, to football. You see, wait, calm down. My heart got broken by footballers. Wait,
When Walcott got married.
no. Oh, Walcott got married
When
long
Walcott got
time.
married.
He got married long time. But no, do you remember Brazil World Cup 2014? And
That one.
then I saw some player be that I don't want to mention his name, kissing an amount of money.
Yeah.
I was like,
I know that player.
I was like,
I know that player.
So me that putting my heart in this football, no, you cry there, foul crowd.
I mean, Irama, that's where I think loyalty as a fan comes in. I mean, we all know the
then I'm not loyal.
well, I mean, we all know the the huge sums of money these players take week in, like almost every week and all of that. And then sometimes with the kind of football they play on a weekend, you feel like, they are not deserving of this amount of money. But that doesn't mean that I need to stop supporting this team, because it's that it comes with it.
I didn't say I'll stop supporting them. Like I said, Arsenal is still like the team that it has a special place in my heart. But the point is, I'm not going to put like some energy.
Because after all, it's just a job,
Yes,
huh?
Yeah.
It's just a
exactly.
job for them.
Like
Okay.
I can see it and be like, oh, we won, that's good. Oh, we didn't win, that's okay. But to put in that kind of passion and then be sad the whole day, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be just
Well,
indifferent
well,
about it. And
well, I have something to say about that, though. I have something to say about
okay.
that, Rama, if I could. Me, I think that as a football fan, really, me, I think you have to soak yourself into it. That's the only way you can
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. Like, because if the moment you start being casual about liking your football team, like not investing your feelings, because investing your feelings, because me, I can tell you something. The day anytime we lose a game, I cannot eat.
You see, stop me that I
I'm
like
unable
food
to eat.
like this.
Yeah, I'm no, I like anytime we lose a game, I look, I realize I have a bad temper, and like my mood changes for the
Yeah.
rest of the day. Like unless Manchester United
Ah,
loses too, that's when I kind of like
Yeah.
settle it. Yeah, I like that's for real. Like I really go through this bad mood. It affects me so much. I can't do anything apart from concentrate on the game, and so I think that's why I enjoy it so much when we win stuff. So I think that is like it's like I don't know, having the bitter and the sweet together. So
mm.
that's it.
Okay, then but I think I'm okay where I stand now. Anywhere Theo Walcott goes, I'll start
Then
liking that team. So I was liking Everton. I was liking
then we need
Everton,
to
then he
question
left
your
But
status as
and
but
he
an
went
Arsenal
back to
fan.
South. Oh, please. I like
Rama,
Arsenal.
I mean,
Yes.
Rama, do you like Walcott's hair? His new hair.
Anything he does is nice, please.
I mean
When he
now
braids it, oh,
Walcott
That hair
holds
is
a pony,
nice.
and I'm like, wow, this is who Rama follows
I'm
religiously.
telling
No
you.
problem.
yes, sure. Now I have a pony on my head right now. Like
It's like
my Facebook name still has Walcott in it. I haven't changed it.
Rama Walcott.
wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
I've even stored your contact as Lady Walcott. So that one, yeah.
There are some people who call me Rama Walcott, Miss Walcott. My father's friends who are Arsenal
Wow.
fans call me Miss Walcott.
Wow. Wow. Then you're very popular with that.
It was just like a crazy time when I was younger. Now I've relaxed. Like
Mm,
Okay.
I'm not I'm not crazy like that. But
Yeah.
hey,
wow.
my yebida.
Wow.
Anyway,
Mhm.
we are 52 minutes into this podcast, and I have to say that we've discussed your favorite players. We've discussed your loyalty and what again? A lot of things. But right now, so that we can wrap up a
Mm.
bit, what is the game that you cannot seem to forget because it was either bad, so bad, or it was very great? Which game? I will tell you mine first.
Mm.
Mine, the one that I
Okay.
remember, and I almost forgot. I was reminded about it yesterday. Was the Man U versus Arsenal game that was 8-2, and then I was like, "Hey, how can you score one,
Oh,
two,
that one.
three,
Mm.
eight? Why?"
Mm.
So, which game can you say you can never forget?
No, Nas, will you go first
Me,
or?
I.
All right, okay.
Okay, let me go first. Let me go first. Mine is Baku. Mine was the Europa League final at Baku with Chelsea. Okay, I mean, all of us. I want to agree. I want to assume that the common ground is a 2006 World Barcelona, whatever. But in my like in my 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 in my very recent no so in my very recent life as an Arsenal fan, the one I was so conscious about was the Baku final against Chelsea because I just didn't understand how come we went to that game and lost 4-0. It never made sense to me, and I think that I took it very personal that. So I think that game really messed me up. And also another event was the red card that Van Persie took in a game
Mm.
against Barcelona by that referee. That those two moments as an Arsenal fan really messed me up. So that's mine. I
Nidal,
don't know
what
about
about
Nidal.
you? Nidal?
Is
Nidal, are you
Nidal crying?
around?
Oh, I think I lost him.
He's still connected, though. But what happened?
Yeah, he's connected.
Hello. Hello.
Maybe his mic, maybe he's muted it or something.
Hey. Okay.
Oh,
So let's move on.
should I talk more about my moment? Should I talk more about my moment before he
Sure.
joins us? So yeah, in Baku we played the finals. That was 2 years ago with what was it called? The what was it called? The Spanish manager we had, Unai Emery. We went to the
Oh,
we
he's
went
been
to the Baku
disconnected.
finals with yeah, he's been disconnected. We went to the Baku finals against Chelsea, and it was so shocking. We went there and lost 4-0, even though we had a better team than they did. So it never made sense. Giroud scored us. Giroud that never scores in any game scored us in that game. Then there was another moment where I think it was 2013 or 2014. I think it was the semifinals. No, not the semifinals. I think the quarterfinals with Barcelona. Then Van Persie got a red card.
Mm-hmm.
Those two moments, I still didn't know how those decisions went for that game, and then I didn't understand how we lost that 4-0. It still bothers me though, but I've made my peace with it.
Okay. I'm still trying to get Nidal to join us. He says he could hear us,
Okay,
but we couldn't hear him.
we couldn't hear him.
What did you think of Theo Walcott when he was in the team?
Oh, Theo Walcott. I think I always liked him. He was a really good winger. He on the right. Look, he had one thing that was always known
I'm
about
I'm
Theo
I'm,
Walcott
I'm
was
Mm-hmm.
his
back on the
speed.
line.
I think he was so fast as a
Yes.
player.
Oh,
Yes, Nidal.
Yeah, welcome back, Nidal.
So
So and
Nas was
Walcott was
just
very
telling us
good with his
about
yeah.
speed.
what he thought about Walcott.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think right before I went offline, you were asking me about
Yeah, I'm saying that he was very good. He
the
was
my
very good
memorable
with his
games
pace.
about Arsenal, the heartbreaking moments, and then the ones I enjoyed or something, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm hmm
But let's Nas
Oh,
finish
okay,
talking
okay.
about
All right,
Walcott and
sure.
then we'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. So Theo Walcott was I think I loved him or I really appreciated him because of his speed, and he had a good looks. He was a very
Well.
handsome young man at the time, and he was
Mm-hmm.
and he was very popular with
Yeah.
the ladies actually. Apparently, even though he was very loyal to his girlfriend.
Hmm.
Anyway, apparently, so he was very deadly on the right side. He was very fast
Is
too.
it the
I remember
is it
this
a
game with
famous 4-4
Liverpool.
at Anfield?
Oh my God, he was so astonishing. I mean, he took the ball all. Yes, yes, bro. Look, he was so good
I
on
mean,
the flanks. I think he was the best that
Yes.
we had on the
I
flanks.
believe so
He had
too.
so much
I
speed. He was light on his feet. Oh, lady, you're saying that for different reasons anyway. So I'll continue. So he was very good at the time, and then I think he at that point in time he wanted to be a striker, and that's when I think his game started to change
yeah.
or something like that. But still, even in his final days at Arsenal, he was very very clinical. So I always liked him.
Okay, so Nida, now tell us about your
Yeah, you
most
know,
memorable
with
game.
as an Arsenal fan, these games, the heartbreaking games, comes in like in million folds. So you just have to pick the one that you remember. But then, I mean, for every Arsenal fan, it will be the 2006 Champions League final, 17th May 2006. I mean, no Arsenal fan can forget about this day. You like,
Hey,
Mm,
I mean,
mm.
that was
they
my
did. Do
that
you
was
remember the
It's
time?
like his birthday. It
right. That was
was like 7 p.m. or something,
my
7
the
or
first
something to
heartbreak
8
I
p.m.
got from
something like that
supporting Arsenal.
around
And
that
then
time.
I thought there was always going to be a second chance for us because at
Yeah.
the time I felt the team was good and all. But then we never got a chance to get into the Champions League final again. And then secondly, I feel like,
Get back then.
one of the heartbreaking moments as an Arsenal fan was when we went on a barren spell in terms of like trophies, and we finally got ourselves into the Carling Cup final. And guess who we lost to? Birmingham. We lost to Birmingham City at the death of the game.
I
Last minute, and
remember
then like
in
it
the
was when
last
I think
minute,
Obafemi that scored against us,
Oh my God.
and it was from an error, like from Arsenal, and I was
Obafemi
like,
Martins,
wow,
yes,
like
Obafemi
we've
Martins.
been on a barren spell, and we finally get the chance to lift a trophy, and this is how these guys like repay me, like for all the support I've given them over the years. Like it was so heartbreaking for me, like it was so heartbreaking, and everyone thought, respect to like top respect to Birmingham, but everyone thought that this like that game was going to be on a silver platter for us now to just lift a trophy after several years, but it never happened. And then I would also go with NAS with the Van Persie red card against Barcelona. I mean, it's I hate one of the several reasons why I hate Barcelona so much. So now I don't understand Arsenal fans who have soft spots for Barcelona, because I really don't get it. I mean, you could go on the timeline and then fellow
Barcelona.
Arsenal like you could go on Twitter and then fellow Arsenal fans are talking about Barcelona, they are talking about Messi. I'm like, this guy, do you really know what you what you really want? Tell me, pick a side so that I know I know what I'm discussing with you. I mean, Barcelona has caused us so once, like they are the reasons why we don't have a Champions League right now. Like they've caused us so much pain. They've taken our best players,
3 times. They took us out of Champions
Thierry
League three
Henry,
times.
Fabregas, Song, and then on top of that too, they've been cheats. There are
Leb.
so many moments that Barcelona have been favored by the officials, and like it's so clear. So I really like. I mean, there are several games I could talk about, but these are just a few. Yeah, 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 yeah.
These are the ones that stand out to you.
No.
Okay. So, gentlemen, I really enjoyed this conversation. And I know that people who are listening who are not Arsenal fans will probably be saying, maybe I should join Arsenal. If you are not too, that's your personal problem.
Oh no, Erama,
It's been
you didn't ask
insightful.
us one more thing that that I wish my lifelong wish as an Arsenal fan, our lifelong wish, huh? Like,
Aha.
wow,
Yes.
I think I
What
think
is it?
I think the first, like for like no, this one I'm speaking for all Arsenal fans, is for us to finally lift a Champions League trophy. And then the second one is for me to visit the Emirates Stadium one day, like to go for a game at the Arsenal Stadium, like yeah.
I would actually like to
Lifelong
be
dream,
there
like
too.
lifelong wish. So I mean, like
Yeah.
I feel if we are able to fulfill this, and if I'm able
Mhm.
to fulfill that, like I mean, my life is complete.
Hey,
Mhm.
mine,
Wow.
mine has to be
Wow.
to
That's
meet
that's
Phil
that's deep.
Walcott, even though he's not in the team anymore, and
Oh,
then to go
oh
and
Lord,
watch
oh
the
Lord,
game.
oh Lord. Here we go again. Yeah, mine. I would definitely want to watch the game at Emirates. Really, I want to be in the crowd. One that shout. I mean, I would have wished to be in the crowd while Ozil is giving us some serious assist, and I'm shouting, "Oh Ozil, oh
We'd
Ozil,"
have to
that
say
kind
so.
of thing. And then now we don't have Ozil, so now I don't think the games will be worth it. No, for me, I
you
don't think the
you
games will be
shout
worth it anymore. Without
party,
Of
Ozil.
course, of course, of course,
party.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, party,
of course.
definitely party. To see party, yeah, definitely. I would want to see party again. That's after COVID is over,
Oh,
hopefully.
coffee. Hmm. And also, is there a song?
Hmm.
Is there an anthem that you guys can sing?
No,
No, no,
also
you
is
know
not
okay.
also
So
no,
I think we should sing the Ozil
no,
song.
I'm not agreeing to this
Dida.
because also is no
That's
longer
the one. That's the one.
so
All of
let's
us can sing.
sing
Oh
an
no, no, no.
Arsenal
See, all
song
the other ones we
that
can sing. Me,
everyone
I can
at
sing the other
Arsenal could
ones.
relate to.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't know.
and
I
it's
don't know any other songs. I promise you, I don't know any other
Arsenal.
songs. Then sing for us. Sing
Arsenal
for us.
FC. We are by far the greatest team
Okay.
the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's Arsenal. I mean,
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh. Hey. Okay. Oh yeah. That's good. That's a good song. But me, I only know to Meso
you
Joseph.
understand?
Meso
It's
Joseph.
Arsene
And I
Wenger's man.
don't think
He's
you
better than Zidane.
understand.
We've got
Yeah, the
Mesut
Vegas man. He
Ozil.
better than Zidane. That
Hey,
song is perfect. That's a perfect
if
song for
there's
any
an
Arsenal
Arsenal
fan.
choir, they
Oh,
shouldn't
Yes.
add the two of you, please.
Oh
of
Lord.
course, of course, of course. Oh,
But one day we should go. All three of us should go to the NAS and
Oh,
get
Nas,
the
yes.
we
game. Man,
we
will definitely be a
you
great time.
once talked about this thing
Yeah.
on the timeline, and coincidentally Erama and I also commented on it.
Yeah. 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 I
Of
saw
course,
it. I
of
remember
course,
seeing
of
that
course,
tweet. I remember
of
seeing that
course.
tweet. We definitely should do it. We definitely should do it. Yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, amen,
Yeah.
amen.
Maybe like 2, 3 years from this
Amen.
podcast, we'll come back and give them another. Yeah.
Okay, so Nidal and NAS, aka
Yeah.
Ibrahim Mo and Nida Ahmed
Yes.
Moro.
Mm.
Thank you
Yes.
very much,
Mm-hmm.
Gunners, for joining. I don't know, sometimes people say goodness, people say Gunners.
They're
What's the
basically the
difference?
thing.
Is it
Yeah.
the same thing? It's the same thing. Goodness is just the corruption of the Gunners. That's
Okay.
all. It's the same thing.
So thank you, Gunners, for joining me on Ayirebuah Speaks Literally, talking
Yeah.
about your loyalty to the team Arsenal
Oh,
FC. And
thank you so much,
you're very
Thank you so
Irama.
much
welcome.
for having us.
But before you leave, I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and you have to mention 5 players whose past and present, whose last name starts with S. So I'm starting with Nas. Yes,
Both of
Nas,
us.
you start. 5 seconds. Five
Oh,
players. Their last name
Wow.
starts with S. Nidal, you have a different letter
No.
so that you think.
Wow.
so F
S
for
for
frog.
sorry.
I for frog.
Yes.
S for sorry.
So five
Okay. S
seconds
for
starts
sorry. One
now.
is song. Okay. So one is song. Two is Shogram Mustafi. Three
5 seconds is
is
up.
oh Lord.
My God.
Nidal, your letter is N. 5 seconds starts now.
Oh, Nacho. Okay, we have Nacho. We have Nasri. We have oh my God.
5 seconds is up.
Nicholas Pepe. Oh my God. Nacho for real. Nacho.
Nicolas Pepe. Nicolas
Is
Pepe.
that his last name? His last name is Pepe.
Yeah. And Nicolas Bentner. All of them have an N.
Okay, anyway. So, listeners,
Mm.
this has been Ayirebuah Speaks Literally. This episode has been still gunning for Arsenal. Arsenal fans will not step down, no matter how many times you troll them. And these have been my guests, Nidal and
Nope.
NAS. You will also hear audio from Arsenal fans across Accra who tell me why they still love Arsenal. It will be attached to this episode. And I have been your host, Ayirebuah Osei. I hope to see you on the next episode. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, kindly do so, because as you can see, there's fantastic content for everyone. This is for the Arsenal fans and
All
football
right.
fans around the world.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us,
guys so
Irama.
much for joining me. This has been
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So,
Thank
Thank
you
you,
okay.
so
IKT.
much. So
Thank
I'll
you so
see you
much for
guys
having us.
Bye.
around.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.